big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games.
What a play by last year's MVP. Toronto is still alive.
And the fact of the matter is, I'm not ready to go home.
It's interesting how quick things can change.
In the playoffs, these games aren't going to come easy.
For the Toronto Blue Jays, Game 4 brought new life, a renewed hope. But Cleveland still needs but one more win to punch their World Series ticket. And that brings us to Game 5 of the American League Championship Series, the Cleveland Indians and the Toronto Blue Jays. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Toronto. I'm Ernie Johnson. This is Ron Darling. You're going to hear from Cal Ripken in just a second. Got to talk about the pitching matchup in this game. Marco Estrada gets the ball for Toronto. He's got 16 1/3 innings under his belt this postseason. That's more innings, Ron, than Ryan Merritt has in his MLB career. Not to mention this is his postseason debut.
Is this the David and Goliath matchup of all time when you think about it? You know payment for losing Bauer, Carrasco, and Salazar was going to come due. And it has come due in this series, and that's why Ryan is going to get the ball. We talk all the time about the big bats of the Toronto Blue Jays. The reason that they are here is the versatility of their great starting rotation. Yesterday, Aaron Sanchez and his wipeout stuff. Today, Mr. Changeup, Marco Estrada.
Let's get to Cal now. And so this whole postseason debut thing for Ryan Merritt and facing a Toronto team that's never seen this guy. Advantage, disadvantage for who?
Well, I mean, I think there's a slight advantage, at least being a hitter. The pitcher, we don't know that pitcher yet. You have all the data, all the video, all the things they have now, but the bottom line is you got to wait till you get in the box to find out. But something did happen interesting to me yesterday. The Jays needed a spark, and so Josh Donaldson called a team meeting, a players-only meeting. I don't know if he said the right words in that meeting or not, but I tell you, the biggest jolt came when he was out on the field. He had a home run to give him the first lead, and then right after that, he makes this great diving play to his left, gets up and saves a run, preserves that lead. So, you know, there was a lot of optimism around the ballpark today, and I think that spark is evident today much more than yesterday.
Toronto trying to close the gap yet again in this series. Meantime, the Indians know that after this game, they're going home. But they don't know if they're going to be hosting Game 6 or Game 1 of the World Series. First pitch next.
The 2016 ALCS telecast on TBS is brought to you by the Lincoln Motor Company and the powerful yet quiet 2016 Lincoln MKX. By T-Mobile One, welcome to Unlimited Baseball. By Navy Federal, proudly serving the armed forces and their families for over 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Back here at Rogers Center in Toronto, where the fourth member of our crew is Sam Ryan. Sam.
Hey, Ernie, well, you talked about Ryan Merritt, that one career start. The last two games, he was sitting on the bench over there, taking in the atmosphere here at Rogers Center. His teammates tell me that he's a real quiet guy, keeps himself very even keel. Just right until they came out, he was sitting at his locker playing video games on his phone by himself. An interesting quote from Jose Bautista. He said, with our experience in our lineup, I'm sure he's shaking in his boots more than we are. And while the Blue Jays have never faced him, their general manager, Ross Atkins, was with Cleveland for 15 years, the farm director. So you have to expect a pretty advanced scouting report, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Sam. The Blue Jays have taken the field here for Game 5. And here's the batting order for the Cleveland Indians. Carlos Santana again leads it off. He won't be the DH today. He is playing first base. Then it's Jason Kipnis, Francisco Lindor in the 3-hole. Napoli will be the designated hitter. Then it's Jose Ramirez, Lonnie Chisenhall, Coco Crisp in left, Tyler Naquin in center, and Roberto Perez doing the catching. The normal lineup we expect to see from Terry Francona against right-handed pitching.
Well, Marco Estrada has been unbelievable. 8 1/3 in his first start against Texas. A American League complete game loss against his Cleveland Indians team of 8 innings in his last start. As a starter, he's 3-2 with a 2.02. But even more important, I called him Mr. Changeup. He's got one of the best in the game. He's only given up 1 in the postseason. That hit, a 2-run home run to Francisco Lindor. The defense behind him, Carrera, who's had a great series, Pilar and Bautista, Donaldson, Tulowitzki. Barney gets to start at second base over Goins, who has 2 nice at-bats yesterday. Encarnacion with 2 big RBIs, and Russell Martin still doing the catching. Well, Donaldson's play yesterday is just, you know, when you watch him play, he reminds me so much of Dustin Pedroia and others. He just seems to be at the right place at the right time and always seems to make those plays that help you win a ball game. There are some players that just have a knack to be around the ball and do things to help your team win.
And no denying the impact he's had since coming from Oakland on not only the production on this team, but the mentality of this team as well. Umpiring crew. Mike Everett behind the plate. Jeff Nelson at first. Mark Wegner makes the calls at second. Jim Wolf is over at third. There's Brian Gorman. He's in left. And Jim Reynolds makes the calls down the right field line. Laz Diaz once again in the replay center. So here we go. Cleveland Indians lead it 3-1 over Toronto. This is Game 5. And this is Carlos Santana ready to lead off. Just 2 for 14 in the series. One of those 2 a home run. Estrada to the plate. There's a strike. And thanks for being with us today here on TBS. Our pleasure to bring the American League Championship Series wherever you may be this afternoon. No balls, 1 strike. And you've talked about that change and when he'll throw it, and it could be at any time.
Yeah, he'll throw it at any count, especially with 2 strikes. He loves to throw that changeup. It's not like any other. It's one of the most unique pitches in baseball. It just seems to back up to the hitter, never get there.
And it's a strikeout pitch, too.
He bounced that change up there, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, Ronnie, back into the first game, he was he threw a lot more fastballs early in the game. Seemed to establish his fastball, keep them off the changeup. Then he came with a changeup second time around. He's already throwing more changeups, I think, right here in this first hitter than he did in the first 2 innings of the game last time.
The only fear that Russell Martin has in catching Marco Estrada is maybe carpal tunnel at some time from the wiggling of the fingers.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and a full count to the Indians' leadoff hitter.
Is there any doubt that this is going to be a changeup? What do you think?
He gave up 6 hits. All of them were by left-handed hitters.
There's fastball. Fastball away.
That was like a step out from Santana, like, wait a minute, I'm not sure what I'm thinking. Okay, let me get it straight. Okay, now I'm back in.
Popped up, foul territory, room for Martin, 1 down.
I thought I was going to have to make a play on that one.
You know what's interesting about this play is that more pitchers don't do this. When there's a shift, you've got to run over there too, just in case to help the catcher out, because the third baseman is too far away.
You know, that 3-2 fastball, in that count, his fastball is much better because there's some doubt in the hitter's mind whether he's going to throw a changeup. You can see he waited too long there, protecting against a changeup, and pops it up over here in foul ground.
Cleveland only hitting 164 in a series that they lead 3-1. Jason Kipnis among those struggling at the plate. He's just 1 for 15. Way out in front. Ball and a strike.
Yeah, none of the hitters on either of these teams phones are blowing up at night, I'll tell you that.
In the air to left field, Carrera goes back. He's on the track and makes the play. So Cleveland outscoring Toronto 9-8 through 4 games, and you see the batting averages, and they've been struggling at the plate and with runners in scoring position, so not a whole lot of clutch hitting going on either in this series. But boy, the bullpens have been dynamite, and the games have been good and tight.
If you're an offensive player, you don't even look at that graphic.
Here's Lindor.
I'll go you one better. You don't look up your average up on the board either.
In game 1, this was Francisco Lindor. And that was all the damage done off of Estrada, who went 8 innings, 8-inning complete game.
Lindor is going to have hundreds of moments. That was the first.
Cleveland winning the opener 2-0, 2-1 in game 2.
Lindor, pretty good pass on that 2-1 changeup. He waited back pretty good.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. Line to left. That's going to get down for a base hit.
The 3 sign went down, and you really don't think too much of a cutter or a slider from Marco. Got it up over the plate a little bit. Lindor fights it down the left field line.
Yeah, he'll occasionally throw a cutter. That was not a good one. 6 hits given up in his first game, all to left-handed hitters. The first one tonight to Lindor.
Here's Mike Napoli in the DH role today. Indians cleanup hitter. Big cut, came up empty, 0-1. Napoli hit 34 home runs this year. He's hit 1 in this postseason. Hitting 167 for both the series and the postseason overall.
You know, base runners have been very successful against Estrada. 12 for 13 on stolen bases. But I can't see Lindor going here with Napoli. If he runs into one, you got a 2-0 lead.
Well hit to left. Back toward the wall. Carrera goes back, has to play it off the carom, and then has trouble with it. That's going to score a run, and the Indians on the board, 1-0.
Cal, the 2 hits now have come off high breaking balls.
Yeah, I missed the type of pitch right there. I was looking at Lindor. I thought it was a high changeup.
Could have been a high changeup.
And I really liked how he took the changeup before. His body position was back, and he laid into it. Lindor probably wouldn't have scored if they came up with that ball clean.
Yeah, Carrera right there to play the carom as he should, and then just couldn't corral it. 1-0. Here's Ramirez. That sails high and away, 1-0. Well, Napoli came in to this ballpark having struggled in the series and has rediscovered the stroke. A double and a home run in game 3. Knocks in the game's first run here in the first in game 5.
Asked how he turned it around. He said I go into the cage and I grind it out. There's the bobble. It's almost like he took his eye off it to throw it in as quickly as he could.
In the air to left, near the line, and out of play.
You know, Francona knows his players as good as anyone, and you would expect him to. He said of Napoli, he was so happy to see that double to right center field. He was staying on it. When you start to see that happening with Mike Napoli, you know his stroke's coming back.
Ramirez, with just 1 RBI this postseason, has an opportunity for his second. Grounded to short. Tulowitzki on the run, gets him by a step. But Cleveland gets on the board in the first. Mike Napoli with the double. Carrera with an error. Cleveland with a run. Batting order for the Toronto Blue Jays. Jose Bautista leads it off, and it's Donaldson, Encarnacion, and Troy Tulowitzki in the cleanup spot. Russell Martin hits 5th. Melvin Upton Jr. in the starting lineup, DHing today. Then it's Carrera, Pilar, and Barney against Ryan Merritt, making his postseason debut. And he throws a strike to Bautista. You heard Sam Ryan's report before the game, and Bautista saying, I'm sure that he'll be shaken in his boots, he said of young Ryan Merritt. Breaking pitch, and it's 0-2.
He throws a lot of strikes. His minor league career, 684 in the 3rd innings pitched, only 108 walks. He will throw strikes.
Just 24 years old, and the left-hander runs it inside and misses. The ball and 2 strikes. Born in McKinney, Texas, where he grew up a Texas Ranger fan and idolized Nolan Ryan as a kid.
Coming back in with that fastball again.
I'll play it on the left side.
Boy, I love to see him pitching inside. We saw an old Toronto Blue Jay throw out the first ball today, Jimmy Key. He was great at pitching inside the right-handers, getting them aware of that ball inside, and then going away for his outs.
And reading each swing, he pulls that inside fastball, which automatically says, let's go away or let's go with a changeup.
Tapped up toward 3rd. Ramirez throws out Bautista for out number 1.
Merritt just said to Bautista, if you want, you can have these boots back. Chris, Lakewood, and Chisenhall in the outfield. Ramirez, Lindor, Kipnis, and Santana, and Roberto Perez behind the plate. Well, Coco Crisp, what a catch he made in left field off the bat of Josh Donaldson in the first game here in the Rogers Center. Boy, he's had a lot of big moments for Cleveland so far in this postseason.
Donaldson has been the most consistent Toronto hitter in this postseason, and he takes a strike. 0-1. 357 in this series, 438, 14 for 32. And he has been murder on left-handed pitching, 6 for 7.
Half his hits for extra base hits as well.
I'll tell you, Merritt is working really quickly. If I were Toronto, I would step out and try to slow him down just a little bit.
Right back over Merritt's head and into the glove of Kipnis, who throws him out. 2 up and 2 down. Had to laugh when you watch this kid the other day, who's in front of the assembled media on that, hey, you're going to be a starting pitcher in this series in a couple of days. We have questions for you. The last question was, what makes you more nervous, this or going out to pitch in your first postseason game? He said, this all day. And so he survived it, and now he's in here pitching in his first playoff game in the bigs.
I know our millennials won't understand this, but when you're a new comedian on the Johnny Carson show, he would sometimes welcome you up to the desk to maybe be interviewed. And they had the same look as Ryan Merritt had with the media the other day.
Encarnacion takes ball and a strike.
Yeah, first two hitters, Ronnie. He only is hitting the radar gun at 85, 86 on his fastball, but he's jammed the first two hitters with I think a slider to Batista. And he went right back into Donaldson.
Well, they've tried to throw 3 straight pitches up to Edwin Encarnacion, described by his manager Terry Francona, a right-handed version of Josh Tomlin. Same kind of guts, same kind of competitor. There's Tomlin on the right.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Can you even begin to describe what was going on inside this guy today?
I only know the first time I ever had to get on a mound in the postseason, I stepped on the rubber. It felt like it was sinking down. You could not catch a breath.
And he gets Encarnacion looking to end the first. 3 up, 3 down. Ryan Merritt ready to exhale. Official caps, t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, and more. Celebrate your favorite team with the latest postseason gear at MLBshop.com. Top half of the second inning here at Game 5, and Lonnie Chisenhall takes a strike from Marco Estrada. He was 3 for 3 against Estrada in Game 1. Fouled out of play. I know that just from hearing and seeing a few things on social media. The other day I said, hey, if you're keeping a scorebook at home, and a lot of people were sending pictures of the scorebooks they were keeping, and I bring that up because top half of the first inning, that Napoli double and an error. So no RBI for Mike Napoli on that play. An error on Ezequiel Carrera that allowed Francisco Lindor to score, and that's just the second error of this postseason for Toronto. Cleveland's made 1. First strikeout of the day for Estrada. 1 down here in the second.
Well, he had a little run on this fastball away, and that's the reason he was able to get Chisenhall. Usually you see some 2-seamers sometimes from Estrada. That was a 4-seam fastball that still had enough to run away at the end.
Here's Coco Crisp.
Coco Crisp has got a home run off of Estrada. Two for 4 with a homer.
You got it. Quickly out in front. No balls and 2 strikes.
This is like 2 battle of the minds going. Estrada so smart as a pitcher. Coco so much experience.
In the air to center field. Little bit of a late start by Pilar, but he had the speed to make up for it.
I think if you look around baseball, most center fielders play deep and are good at coming in on the baseball. Very, very few play shallow and are able to go back. Pilar's plays much more deeply than most center fielders. I think that's why he makes a lot of those unbelievable catches into gaps and steals home runs away.
2 up, 2 down now for Tyler Naquin. Rookie center fielder. Hit .296 in the regular season. Hit 14 home runs. He's 2 for 9 in the series, 3 for 13 rather in the postseason, and has knocked in a couple of runs. Big single at Fenway Park in the clincher over the Red Sox.
Going up with the fastball right here. And if I'm reading that, he's not jumpy at all on that fastball. It says he's waiting a little longer. I'd go back fastball in. Looks like they're going to go breaking ball. I mean, going to go change up.
The only way I could describe that changeup is the changeup that seldom gets there. I mean, it just is one of those pitches that you can wait, you can sit on it, you know it's coming, and you still don't hit it.
And it's really deceptive when it's down. Russell Martin wants this breaking ball down in the dirt.
So, Cal, you're at the plate right now. What are you getting here?
Well, I'm going to look for the changeup because that's the one that can fool me the most and fight the fastball off. And I'd have to fight this pitch off right now. It's so strange to have a changeup be your strikeout pitch, because normally you are more flat-footed with 2 strikes, protecting the plate, waiting longer anyway. And to still have a deceptive changeup that strikes you out is unbelievable.
Three up, 3 down for Estrada. 2 strikeouts in the second. Follow Bleacher Report on Instagram and get the coolest sports content before anybody else. Join millions of others and follow Bleacher Report on Instagram now. Bottom of the second. Tulowitzki, Martin, and Upton due against Ryan Merritt. And there's a strike. Almost gives you a little bit of that Clayton Kershaw feel with the arms raised over the head.
But Clayton does that, of course, when he's in the stretch.
Up high, a ball and a strike. Sam Ryan, what were you saying about how Ryan Merritt found out he was going to be on the ALCS roster?
Yeah, from one of his teammates, Cody Anderson, he told me that last week he called him to congratulate him and said, hey, congratulations, bring your passport. He didn't know what he was talking about. He's like, what do you mean? He said, you made the ALCS roster. Now, Anderson said it's not like he's checked out and doesn't care. He does. He's just so quiet and he keeps to himself. Mike Clevenger and Andrew Miller told me he's a bulldog out there on the mound, just so quiet in the clubhouse, keeps to himself. And they also pointed out that he doesn't sweat. They said they've seen him pitch in the heat, and he never sweats, this guy, guys.
And one of the other things they asked him this week, they were asking him about his fiancée, Sarah. And he said, make sure you spell it with an H. She's pretty particular about that. She'll get on you.
We were talking about scouting reports earlier. I tell you, the best data you can get is the guys that just went through and saw them come back talking in the dugout saying, yeah, his fastball's doing this. He's coming in with a cutter. He's a little deceptive. That kind of information is valuable when you're still coming up.
Ball and 2 strikes to Russell Martin. 1 for 14 in this series, just 2 for 30 in the postseason.
You know, we always talk about the players getting reports on the pitchers. You know, what their repertoire is, what they throw. Umpires get those reports too in their own way. You see Donaldson talking to Pilar about it. They're going to talk on the bench a lot. The umpires get reports. They know that he's only walked around 100 batters and almost 700 innings. They know he's a control pitcher.
I think what they were saying there was a little deception. That looks like he has his arm back and they come snapping through. But it's not the velocity that gets you, it's the release point.
You know, Cal, Terry Francona told us before the game, said when you stand behind the catcher and watch him throw, the ball kind of jumps on you because he hides it better than others.
That's a second strikeout, both looking.
So you got 2 Ks called, and you got 3 times that he's jammed the hitter. He's gotten in on him. You wouldn't expect those kind of numbers from someone that throws 86.
Here's Melvin Upton Jr.
Just so happy to see a left-hander other than Andrew Miller out there. There's Melvin Upton Jr. 3 Ks, 0 for 3 in this series, all against Miller.
Took something off the 0-1 and missed a ball and a strike.
You know, we talk about advantage to the hitter or pitcher, and I said it's the advantage to the pitcher because the hitter's got to find out what you got. The problem is you don't have a lot of time. You need to get him in your first or second at bat, or Miller's in the game.
That was pretty. A ball and 2 strikes.
Doubled up on the hook, missed it first time, made it the second time. We were told it was an iffy third pitch. So far, no iffy about it.
Two balls and 2 strikes.
I like watching it. Perez is taking control. Not a whole lot of shaking off. Roberto back there has done a nice job in this series.
First shakeoff was Perez himself.
Up in the DH, waiting, and there is another strike 3 called. 6 up, 6 down. Welcome to the postseason. Don't miss the Cubs and Dodgers Game 4 of the NLCS tonight at 8 Eastern on FS1. How about the Dodgers with back-to-back shutouts of the Cubbies to take the advantage in that series?
Getting a couple of home runs last night from Yasmani Grandal and Justin Turner, who's turned into one heck of a player.
No balls, 1 strike to the number 9 hitter Roberto Perez, and quickly 0-2.
Healthy swing on that first fastball. He got a few fastballs to hit the first time around. That was up and he came right back with a fastball again, down 0-2. That was a good take.
Yeah, in this day and age, you know, it seems everyone has their, you know, what pitch to look for and try to drive the ball up the middle the other way. Roberto Perez to me is, I'm going to swing hard in case I hit it a long way.
Not this time. 1 down.
Estrada's another guy that hides that ball pretty well. And he comes straight over the top, something you don't see a lot in the game today. So he has the straight over the top you don't see a lot, a changeup that no one else really throws. He's got a good curveball, but he only uses it sparingly.
Top of the order, Carlos Santana, who fouled out to Russell Martin his first time.
There's that little slider, cutter. Trying to get in on Santana.
Well hit, right field, way back and gone. Carlos Santana. Homered in Game 2, homers in Game 5. Indians 2-0.
He looked up to the sky like, finally, a big hit.
This is a fastball, a little up in the strike zone. And he was sitting dead red. Because you can't hit that thinking about the changeup. He took a chance and got it.
So 2 home runs and a bunt base hit against the shift. That's what he's got in the series.
I say swing the bat.
Yeah.
Kipnis takes down low.
Kipnis had a good at bat in his first at bat. Rushed Carrera all the way to the left field wall.
In the air to right. Got it off the end of the bat, and Bautista wraps it up. 2 down.
High fastball out over the plate. He gets all the way around it.
We've talked about the ball not traveling here as much when it's closed, roof is closed. Doesn't matter where that was. It was a home run.
Lindor takes down low. Lindor singled his first time, came around to score when Napoli doubled, and Carrera had trouble with the carom off the left field wall. Little blooper over short, that'll fall. And Lindor is 2 for 2.
You know, with each run that you get, it gives the young Merritt a little more confidence. Napoli's now up again because the Lindor hit.
The Indians have a good approach. They're waiting a lot longer. Thinking about the other way. A little bit more on time with the changeup.
Here's Napoli. Slow roller up toward third. They're going to let it roll. Foul.
That's really their only choice right here. Nobody's going to have a chance to throw him out.
You know, it was funny, before the game I rolled a ball up the first and third base line to see if they would stay fair. They did, but I didn't do the swinging bunt. That's what I'll do next time.
A little more thorough research.
I mean, just come on. Start thinking.
You got to put a little spin on that ball and see if it will stay.
No balls and 1 strike to Napoli. Lindor with the lead at first. 2 out and a run in on a solo shot by Carlos Santana.
In the old days, when you had a bunting type team, it was definitely much more of a slope in towards the grass.
Haven't seen Francisco Liriano in this series. Haven't seen him since he got hit in the back of the head by that line drive in the Texas series, but he's loosening here in Game 5 of the ALCS.
We thought that we would have to figure out what Terry Francona was thinking first about the bullpen. It's John Gibbons.
Yeah, the youngster Ryan Merritt has sailed through the first 2, setting down all 6 Blue Jays he's faced. And he's watched the Indians stake into a 2-0 lead.
For a guy who strikes out as much as Napoli does, he fouls off more 2-strike pitches to stay in at bats. 261 this year.
This will be pitch number 50 for Estrada. And it's strike 3 called to end the inning. But Cleveland adds to the lead. Santana's homer. 2-zip. Let's take a look at today's playmakers, presented by the all-new Chrysler Pacifica. Ezekiel Carrera hitting cool .333 in this postseason. Has triples in consecutive games here in the ALCS. Ramirez in on the grass there at third with Carrera leading off.
And you got Kipnis in a couple steps in, anticipating a bunt that way as well.
In the air to left field. Crisp goes back. He's got room. 1 down. Moments ago, Sam Ryan with Indians manager Terry Francona.
Terry, I know you didn't know what to expect from Ryan out there. What are you seeing so far? What do you like?
Well, I think what we thought we'd expect is that he would handle the nerves, things like that, because I don't think it's fair to think he wouldn't have them. But he's throwing the ball. He's throwing strikes. He's throwing his changeup. He spun a couple breaking balls. And I think the most important thing is he's being himself.
As far as handling the nerves, how much do you think the early lead helped out there?
You know what? I think it helps everybody. But I think his teammates have been really good with this kid. That's one of, I think, our team's strengths is they don't make the young kid feel like the outcast. They make him feel like he's not alone out there. I think that helps a lot.
Thanks so much, Terry.
8 up and 8 down for Ryan Merritt.
Well, I love that, what he said at last. I like teams that do stuff together. The hazing of the young player, I cannot stand. I think it's the worst thing that's going in baseball. Everyone's part of the team. There was a time when the young fella would come up and you'd buy him a suit because he didn't have a suit. I think that's how you get your young players to perform for you.
There's a strike to Darwin Barney, the number 9 hitter. Merritt came in with 11 innings of big league work to his credit. And 1 start. And he's going to set down the first 9 Blue Jays he sees. 3 innings in the books. 2-0 Cleveland. Give this kid his Merritt badge. Mark your calendars. It's easy to remember the month. NCAA March Madness returns to TBS, CBS, TNT, and True TV, and it all begins on March 14th. Top half of the 4th inning. Jose Ramirez leading it off for Cleveland. Indians leading the series 3-1, leading the game 2-0.
This is the part of the game as a starting pitcher in a elimination type game. You know that you cannot give up another run. That's it. Got to be almost perfect from this point on.
Ramirez grounded to short his first time, and he takes a strike. 2-1. Just joining us, Indians on the board in the first. Mike Napoli, a double off the wall. Carrera had trouble with it out there, and it allowed Lindor to score. And then Carlos Santana, solo homer with 1 out in the 3rd. Ramirez, a top 10 hitter in the American League in the regular season, waits and then pops it up to Lewitsky. 1 down. Moments ago, Sam Ryan with Blue Jays manager John Gibbons.
Marco went complete game last time out, over 50 pitches. Now, what's the difference that you're seeing?
Well, you know what, Sam, it's you know, a few days ago they got to look at him. You know, one thing he does, he gives up fly balls. So that's not unusual. A lot of guys you look for when they start struggling, they start elevating the ball and get fly balls. That's kind of what he does. You know, Napoli got a hold of one, and then Santana did right there too. So I mean that's part of it. You know, but we'll keep an eye on him. And you know, Merritt's answering the bell for those guys. Looks great out there. So you know, hopefully we get to him soon anyway.
You guys are coming back into the dugout. What are they saying about him? Because this is the first time they're seeing him.
Well, I mean, you know, you look at him, he's got good poise to begin with, but you know, he's able to locate. There's not a whole lot in the middle of the plate. It looks like when he's throwing that fastball inside, you know, it's in a good spot, hitting the corners, and the same thing away, you know, and he's got a little breaking ball he's throwing over the plate. So I mean, he's doing a hell of a job right now. We just gotta, you know, we gotta hold them in check right here and you know, strike quick.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome, sir.
Interesting thing from all those phrases, we've got to score quick, we've got to strike quick, we've got to get back quick because of that Cleveland bullpen.
I was kind of amazed when we were talking to Francona earlier when he said, you know, I'm going to get him out of there at some time, either the 3rd, the 4th, or the 5th inning. And I don't think he'd expected him to cruise through the first 3 innings the way he has.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Chisenhall, who waves at strike 3 as the changeup claims another victim.
I mean, Estrada has 5 strikeouts. He's throwing the ball well. He's made 2 mistakes. It has cost him 2 runs. In this ALCS, in 12 innings, the Blue Jays have scored him 0 runs.
Andrew Miller loosening. Oh, 0-1 to Coco Crisp.
See, Coco, Cal, seems to me to be a veteran player that might want to sit on a changeup at some point.
He took a chance on the first pitch that it might be a fastball. Got fooled pretty bad by the changeup.
Again.
But you can bet with 2 strikes he's not going to be out in front of the changeup. Here comes another one.
Marco Estrada, he probably drives slow, does everything slow.
Just peering over that glove. Looking for a sign from Martin. Got the one he wants, and here it comes.
That slider cutter just inside off the plate.
In the air to right field, pretty well hit. Bautista back, and that ball is gone. Coco Crisp with a 2-out solo homer here in the 4th, and it is 3-0 Cleveland.
He waited on that change, Cal.
Yeah, in some ways you don't want to say he set him up. But looking to the fastball the first couple and being out in front, he was in a position to wait and look for the changeup. That changeup was up. I'm sure he didn't want it to get it up high where he could drive it out of the ballpark. But he waited a long time on that one.
State of shock in that Toronto dugout. Here's Naquin. Coco had a big one against Boston, and here in Game 5, a solo shot here in the 4th.
You can see where Russell Martin's target was, and he had to reach up and back towards the plate.
Fouled out of play by Naquin. 2 balls and a strike. Joe Biagini warming up now in the Toronto bullpen as we play in the 4th. Toronto fighting for their playoff lives, and they trail in this one 3-0. That couldn't have been more off the end of the bat if you tried. Look at that stat, including the postseason, 68-1 when leading by 3 runs or more. (2-2) with 2 outs. And Naquin pops it up to Donaldson at 3rd. That does it for Cleveland. But another long ball. The veteran Coco Crisp. 3-0. Let's take a look at the art of performance presented by Jaguars. So far, so good if you're Ryan Merritt. 9 up and 9 down in his first postseason start. Top of the order here in the 4th for Toronto. And Jose Bautista takes a strike, so we'll see. You heard Sam Ryan talking to John Gibbons about, what kind of talk is going on in here and what are the early thoughts on what they're seeing from a guy they've never faced before.
Well, now it's second time through the order, and it took Ryan Merritt only an hour to get one of our athletic performances. That's pretty good.
Maybe a postseason record. Sponsored element about you.
You wonder, second time around, hitter's get a chance to make an adjustment, but there's some urgency because they might only get 2 times around off him.
What he's done now, we've seen it many times. He's doubled up on curves. Now he doubled up on a changeup there to Bautista. It'd be interesting to see if he throws after the 2 changeups away, 1-2, fastball in.
Bautista grounded to third his first time.
And he stayed with the changeup.
So what do you think the Terry Francona thought process is right now? He's gotten 3 perfect innings out of Merritt.
I think his head's about to explode. I don't think he ever thought that he would have, he expected Ryan to go out there and really compete. He knows him as a young man, but to be this good so far.
Popped up, but after a long chase, Santana couldn't get there. Kipnis couldn't get there.
This is almost icing on the cake, though, isn't it? Every single out that you get from Ryan Merritt gets you closer and closer to not having to use your Andrew Millers, your Shaws, your other Allens until it's later in the game.
I'm sure he's thinking still, I want to get 5 innings out of him. If I can get 5 innings, I'm comfortable going to Miller then.
To center field. Naquin, 1 down.
I'm enjoying watching Perez call a game. Second time around there, he didn't show him the same thing he did the first time. And many times hitters, you can't pitch the same way each and every at bat. He went in on him early, and this time he showed him some off-speed stuff and went away.
And now here's Josh Donaldson. And there is the first base hit off of Merritt, and it comes with 1 out in the 4th.
Donaldson has 15 hits in the postseason. 10 of them have come on off-speed pitches.
And I don't think for a second he went up there sitting on a curveball the first pitch. That's what makes him so dangerous, though. He can wait, look at the ball out over the plate, and still hit that breaking ball, even though he might be thinking fastball.
Here's Edwin Encarnacion. He was called out on strikes his first time, and then between innings was having a conversation with Mike Everett.
Well, in his first at bat, Merritt threw a lot of balls in. I wonder if he'll look in.
This is the first time maybe your adrenaline gets a push. Everything's been going pretty easy. Now Donaldson gets a hit. Crowd's going crazy. You're 2-0.
First time today working out of the stretch. And he misses again. 3 balls and no strikes.
Well, this is the first time you're pitching with the crowd this loud. I have to let Encarnacion swing the bat 3-0 here. Have to.
He takes a strike, 3-1. There is action in the Cleveland bullpen. Jeff Manship up and throwing. As Encarnacion thought it was ball 4, it's strike 2, the count full.
Edwin sees these balls as outside on our strike zone. It could go either way.
Roberto would have to be sitting outside for that to be a ball. I think he's sitting right on the outside edge, the outside corner. That ball looks like a good pitch.
Grounded to short. Could be 2. There's 1. Double play. Encarnacion bounces into a 6-4-3, then bounces the helmet away. We've played 4. 3-0.
This 2016 ALCS telecast on TBS is brought to you by Jaguar, the art of performance. And join the over 1 million small business customers who prevail with the Hartford.
Edwin Encarnacion rounding into an inning-ending double play. And now back in the field with the Blue Jays as we head to the 5th, and Roberto Perez leads it off as he did in the 3rd when he struck out against Marco Estrada.
Listen, I know that it's much tougher on the team that's down 3-1 in the series. But if you notice there, any of the close pitches that have occurred in this game, there's a slow boil working with the Toronto Blue Jays. The first pitch to Perez, he could have maybe argued about it, maybe not liked it. He had no reaction at all. Frustration not a part of the Cleveland Indians so far, and that's probably from the 3-1 lead.
A little frustration on the check swing call for the second strike.
Maybe, yeah.
Everything's running a little higher. The engine's running a little hotter when you're hitting, and you don't want that pitch called on you or that swing called on you.
1 ball, 2 strikes. In the air to left, and Carrera 1 down.
You see where Lindor is playing right here. 3-2 changeup. He gets a good jump on it. Makes sure he delivers the ball to get the first out. And Kipnis turns a double play. Donaldson slid way early.
But for Ryan Merritt, that was not first start in postseason pitching. That was 3-0. Fastball in the corner. Fastball in the corner. Changeup 3-2 for a double play. That's big league pitching. Big league postseason pitching.
Here's Santana. Fouled out. Homered in the 3rd. 3 Jays on the right side. And he takes a strike, 0-2.
Yeah. Santana just said wild on that pitch.
Tapped wide of the mound to Lewitsky. Gets him by a step.
After hitting a home run on a fastball, you can almost put the fastball out of your mind and look for something else. You got a curveball, slider, and a changeup. Ball off the end of the bat.
But you know, Cal, Coco got a high changeup. When his changeup's down, it doesn't matter if you're sitting on it or not. It's going to be put on play on the ground or swung through.
Two up and 2 down here in the 5th for Jason Kipnis.
Estrada's got a good breaking ball that he can throw for strikes. He missed there, but he only throws it a handful of times during the game.
Kipnis is flied to left, flied to right, and this one is going to be corralled by Carrera. 3 up, 3 down in the 5th. Game 5 in Toronto. Bottom half of the 5th. That is Ryan Merritt, the 24-year-old making his postseason debut, and he has faced the minimum through 4. Tulowitzki swings through it 0-1. He's allowed 1 hit, a single with 1 out by Josh Donaldson in the 4th. Quickly erased by an Encarnacion double play ball. High fly ball left field. Crisp late break, and then back on the track to put it away.
It's almost like he lost it in the roof there for a second. The ball traveled pretty well on Crisp. The only time in baseball history that a pitcher has made 1 regular season start and then pitched in the ALCS is Matt Moore in 2011. All he did in that game, 7 shutout innings.
Here's Russell Martin. He was called out on strikes his first time.
On his way.
I'm guessing Francona won't let him.
If he keeps throwing like that, like this, he might not have a chance.
Yeah, a little action out in the pen right now.
Yeah, Brian Shaw loosening. Little blooper behind second. Kipnis back. Chisenhall on. The ball's going to fall, and Martin is going to stay at first.
Yeah, a little scary moment right here. Both guys trying to make a play on that. Really lucky.
Well, Terry Francona is on his way to the mound. And look at that infield, and look at Francona as Merritt starts off the field, but Francona wanted a handshake first. What a job by the kid. 1 start in his big league career, and then his first start in the postseason. They couldn't have asked for any more. Ryan Merritt goes 4 1/3. In the brightest possible spotlight of his young career.
How good is it to be Ryan Merritt right now? With his head down, it's like he can't even believe it happened. This is the only issue I have. You had Upton Jr. up, but now you got Saunders at the plate. He's had some of the best swings for Toronto this entire series. Shaw in the postseason has given up 4 runs in 4 2/3 innings pitched. He is the only one that has struggled out of the bullpen.
He's appeared in games 2, 3, and 4 of this series. Saunders cuts through that, a ball and a strike.
Well, Francona says he gets better the more he pitches. He hadn't had enough innings yet, I guess.
Led the American League with 75 appearances out of the pen. And he's in there again today in what the Indians hope is the clincher here in the American League Championship Series. Saunders waiting. Into center field, base hit. Martin around second. He will stay right there. 2 runners on and 1 out. Just what you pointed out, Ron, about Saunders and the way he's swinging.
I didn't want him at the plate. He's just swinging the bat too well. Remember, he had 3 hits off Corey Kluber, 2 in the first game and 1 in his second start. There he gets a high breaking ball from Shaw and delivers it to center field.
And maybe the Blue Jays offense saying, okay, yeah, get somebody in here we know.
Here's Ezekiel Carrera. Flied out his first time. Takes down low, 1-0.
Terry Kemp Francona has played all the right keys. Does he play one thing out of tune this series?
I didn't know he played the piano.
He's been so good. I mean, so good. He's been almost perfect with every move he's had to make, shortening these games.
One ball, one strike. Here it comes. A ball and 2 strikes.
And not all of them have been conventional moves. We've had to have some conversations where we talk about why he did something. Always has a baseball reason, though.
He knows that with Bauer, Carrasco, Salazar out, if he gets a chance at winning a game, he's going to do it right now. Get the 4 the quickest way possible.
Way high. 2-2. Tulowitzki flied out to start the inning. Russell Martin, a perfectly placed blooper to right that fell in between Kipnis and Chisenhall. That's when Shaw replaced Merritt. Saunders singled, and now it's a 3-2 pitch to Ezekiel Carrera.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect any action, any running on this pitch right here. Let us take their normal secondary leads.
He struck him out. Big pitch by Brian Shaw for the second out.
Take this one, Cal.
Well, he has that cutter, a 95-mile-an-hour cutter, just misses. Gets in on his hands a little bit with the next one. Then comes back with a breaking ball, little foul ball, high fastball. One of those backdoor cutters again. Here he is, bread and butter, 95 miles an hour and breaking that much. I don't know why he just doesn't throw that pitch all the time.
Yeah, that was the nastiest pitch he's thrown in postseason.
Kevin Pillar is 0 for 1. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it away.
You're not supposed to chew your nails. I think it's fine in this kind of moment.
Probably not the only one rooting for Cleveland who's doing just that right now. No balls, 1 strike. Pillar just 1 for 14 in this series. Had 1 hit for Pillar. Came off the guy he's facing right now, Brian Shaw, in Game 3.
I was watching Perez have Shaw shake off 3 times before he put a sign down, and then still goes with a cutter away.
The last 7 hitters Shaw has faced, he's given up 4 hits, a walk, and he made an error himself. If you're Toronto, I know it's only the 5th inning, but you feel with Miller looming, this might be it.
He struck him out. Ryan Shaw, after allowing a single to Saunders, strikes out Carrera and Pillar and keeps the Jays off the board. If necessary, Game 6 in this series will be Friday on TBS with our coverage beginning at 7. And Game 7, if they need it, also in Cleveland. Check your local listings. We are zipping right along, top half of the 6th inning. Indians on top 3-0, and they'll send the 3, 4, 5 hitters against Marco Estrada. Lindor's 2 out of 2. It was Lindor's 2-out single that got things started in the first, because Napoli followed with a double off the wall, and when Carrera juggled the ball, Lindor was able to score. Goes down swinging to start the 6th. Here's a StatCast powered by Amazon Web Services. This is the Mike Napoli double. It bounced off the glove of Carrera and allowed Lindor to score.
First to home in 10.8, huh? They're measuring that from when the ball is, when contact is made on the ball.
I don't know. That's something that Ron puts together in his spare time.
Yeah, just figuring that out. I honestly don't like the error on Carrera. I like that it should have been RBI double by Napoli. He was going the whole way, 2 outs.
I can see giving him an error if the third base coach is holding him up,
yeah,
and then starts him again. But he was going to score the whole way. They had a shot at him if they came up clean.
A 1-1 to Napoli. Outside, 2-1.
I'm taking the official score after the game. I'm throwing some balls up against the wall in left center and making him play a couple. If he comes up with 10 in a row in his glove, then okay, he's fine.
Napoli had a mighty cut. 2-2.
He doesn't get cheated too often.
I think it's safe to say there is one thing on his mind every time he steps in the box.
Estrada 8 1/3 in his start in Texas. 8-inning complete game loss to Cleveland in Game 1, and here pitching in the 6th.
And there is strikeout number 7 for Marco Estrada.
From the side, it looked a little down. Ronnie?
Yeah, and so did Napoli, the batter. He was taking off all his shin guards and equipment, figuring it was going to be down. But listen, Mike Everett has shown you from pitch 1 that he has a pitcher's strike zone. He's going to be aggressive and calling strikes. On the strike zone, it was right there, Cal.
Second time Napoli's been caught looking. Fouled away by Ramirez. The change fooled him. Ramirez was their leading hitter at .312 in the regular season. He's 1 for 15 in this series. To left field, that'll be easy for Carrera. 1, 2, 3, top of the 6th. We'll be back here in Toronto after this. Card members now through December 31st. There's a big reason for you to shop small across America. Learn more and enroll your eligible card today at americanexpress.com/shop-small. Offer and terms apply. Clevelander Bar and Grill right down the street from Progressive Field. where Cleveland Indian fans have gathered to see if the Indians can advance to the World Series, leading this series 3-1 and leading in Game 5 3-0. 9-1-2 due for Toronto against Brian Shaw here in the bottom of the 6th. Tap towards short. Little in-between hop for Lindor, and he gets him. Little funny hop there, Cal.
Yeah, ball came off the grass part of the turf. He kicked a little high bounce. It would have caught him in between if he didn't come get it on the short hop. He was waiting for it to read the hop, and it came up a little high. And instead of getting caught in between, he just extended.
They said the turf here, when the ball hits it, it slows down, which is different than turf used to be.
Top of the order now in Bautista. He's 0 for 2. Glance out that Indians bullpen, and Andrew Miller is getting ready. Line drive, base hit up the middle. Bautista on for the first time in this one. Bautista, it's his birthday today. He's 36. Rajai Davis turned 36 today. Josh Tomlin 32. Jay Happ 34.
There he comes.
Terry Francona has decided it's Miller time. In the 6th inning of Game 5.
Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Back here in Toronto, you see the strikeout machine that is Andrew Miller. Been virtually unhittable in this postseason.
This postseason, you saw the 9 innings pitched, no runs given up, 20 Ks on 151 pitches.
In this series, 5 innings, 13 strikeouts, no walks. Swinging at the first pitch to short. And there is a double play. I'm sure the Jays will take a look and see if they'd like that reviewed to see if Santana was able to hold the bag. Lindor, the Kipnis here.
Remember, you have an extra challenge in the playoffs before the 7th. Maybe why not? I thought he held the bag from this angle. Remember, Napoli usually plays first. Santana over there now. I thought he scraped the bag with his foot. Ball's in his webbing there. Now the foot comes off. The back of the heel was on. That's a double play.
Yeah, it looks conclusive.
Laz Diaz, who was on the field for the first 2 games, in the replay center for the rest of the series, reviewing this.
Everyone's reacting to the scoreboard, where there was an angle that looks like his foot is off the base. But they haven't seen the angles that we've seen.
You know, Carlos is a catcher by trade. He struggled at that position. He played 62 games this year at first base. He just made that look a little awkward. I believe he's out.
6-4-3 in the books. One pitch by Andrew Miller defuses the potential rally. T-Mobile One lets MLB fans always stay connected to the game they love. Show us how you're baseball's #1 fan by using #UnlimitedBaseball for a free MLB Shop gift code and other great prizes. Top half of the 7th inning. Lonnie Chisenhall, Coco Crisp, Tyler Naquin, the Cleveland outfield, and the 6, 7, 8 hitters in Terry Francona's lineup. Brett Cecil, the second Toronto pitcher following Marco Estrada to the mound.
Well, you see his numbers so far this postseason. He has been outstanding. Starting pitcher earlier in his career when he won 15 games, but he's found a home in the bullpen.
Darwin Barney on the backhand, one down. Francona going to the bench now and send the right-handed hitting Rajai Davis up to the plate.
Coco's like, how can you take me out? Did you see what I did last time up?
I'm a switch hitter. I can turn around.
Rajai, of course, two things here. One, give them the right-handed bat against Cecil. Also, he was going to go in for defense anyways with the lead for Cleveland.
High fives for Coco Crisp on a day in which he homered in the 4th inning. Davis looking for his first hit of this postseason. He's 0 for 11.
Yeah, I was just checking the numbers against Cecil. Coco Crisp is only 1 for 14. That might have been the reason he chose that bat. Rajai's 1 for 4.
Goes down swinging for out number 2 here in the 7th.
So a good changeup from Cecil, moving away from Davis.
And here's Tyler Naquin.
It's gotten pretty quiet down here.
Yeah, some pretty anxious Toronto Blue Jays fans down here seeing a 3-0 lead, and you see Miller come on and throw one pitch and get him out of that last inning. Guy with a big glove is back.
You know, we've been talking so much about the bullpen of Cleveland because of their lead here, but Toronto's bullpen in the post, 0.76 ERA.
And in this series, nothing in 9.2 coming into this game. Cecil's retired the first 2 he's faced. Ready to deliver a 3-1 to Naquin. That caught the corner, full count. Tapped up towards first. Good play by Encarnacion to scoop that up before it had a chance to hit the bag. 1-2-3 inning for Brett Cecil. 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Cubs and Dodgers, Game 4 of the NLCS tonight at 8 on FS1. Chicago down 2-1 as they play at Chavez Ravine. Here at Rogers Center with the roof closed just past the dinner hour there in Toronto. 3, 4, 5 hitters for Toronto against Andrew Miller, who throws a strike to Encarnacion.
And he doesn't like that call either. Edwin's one of the rare hitters that has good numbers against Miller. 4 for 11 with a couple of home runs.
He's got to get his head clear right now.
Yeah.
I was going to say he's not in a good place when it comes to balls and strikes and what's being called against him. It's 1-1.
He's still kind of bothered. Shake that off.
One and 2. Miller came on with 1 out in the 6th and threw 1 pitch. Josh Donaldson hitting into a double play, 6-4-3.
On a 93-mile-an-hour fastball inside, jammed him.
Coming in with a fastball right now.
Well hit to left. That ball is deep and Rajay Davis hauls it in. Davis just into the game after pinch hitting for Crisp and gets an early test.
He must have hit that a little bit towards the label. Let's take a look right here. He got it pretty good.
Yeah, he did get it pretty good. I was surprised that stayed in the park. When that hit the bat, did you think that was out?
Yeah, I thought it was gone.
Yeah, I did too.
Here's Tulowitzki.
Sometimes part of pitching, and pitchers hate to admit this, is missing your spot and getting the ball back because you're lucky. Hitter just misses it.
John Gibbons, his Blue Jays being shut out as we play in the 7th in what could be his club's final game of the season.
Miller's so good he probably can do this on purpose, but when I watch him throw his breaking pitch, to me it seems as though he throws it as hard as he can and it breaks in a variety of ways, which makes it 2 or 3 breaking pitches.
On the ground, Lindor. 2 down. They've got 7 outs left to the Toronto Blue Jays. LeBron James, who has made an appearance or 2 out there at Progressive Field with his 2-word message and then the hashtag of rally together. Russell Martin takes inside 1-0. Martin singled in the 5th. That was the last hitter that young Ryan Merritt faced. And then Brian Shaw came on, gave up a single to Michael Saunders, who was pinch hitting. And it looked like Toronto had something going, and then Carrera and Pilar struck out to end the inning. 2 balls, no strikes. And that's over. 2-1.
Navarro has stepped up into the on-deck circle.
Navarro had a hit off of Miller the other night. Grounded to short. And that is a 1-2-3 inning for Andrew Miller. 7 innings in the books. 3-0 Indians. Tune in Tuesday, October 25th for the Knicks and Cavaliers, followed by the Spurs and Warriors. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern, live from Cleveland. Well, we move to the 8th. 9-1-2 due for the Indians, who lead at 3-0, and Joe Biagini is the third Blue Jays pitcher.
Oh, Biagini has been outstanding for these Jays, as all of their relievers have. Got a day off in yesterday's game, which was helpful. John Gibbons talked about.
Perez with the bunt, and it's grabbed in foul territory by Josh Donaldson.
It looked like he knew what he was doing there.
Yeah, you like that, huh, Cal?
Squared around late. A lot of spin on that one.
60-degree lob right there.
Bite.
Only Mickelson can keep that fair.
He had him back right there, so when he got it down, he had a hit.
Perez 0 for 2, a strikeout and a fly out. Biagini appearing in Game 2 and in Game 3 of this series. There's the Iron Man Cal Ripken with his producer.
I couldn't tell which one was me from that shot.
Yeah, Glenn Diamond over there to the right, affectionately known as McRib in our compound.
Or MC Rib for when he's DJing.
Biagini's 26. Made his big league debut this season and appeared in 60 games for the Blue Jays. Did a great job. Originally taken by the Giants.
Russell Martin wanted that really bad. Tried to hold it up. Looked like it was at the bottom of the strike zone.
This is when you have the catcher. They turn sideways and they talk to the umpire to not show him up. But sometimes the language gets a little salty back there.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. And he struck him out. Ninth strikeout by Toronto pitching. StatCast is powered by Amazon Web Services, and this Carlos Santana with his solo shot in the 3rd inning, which made it a 2-0 game at the time. This is a guy who was due to bust out in this series, was 2 for 14 coming in. Biagini's got pretty good stuff.
Yeah, he's been impressive. With his fastball, breaking ball, and cutter inside the lefties. Thrown them all for strikes. Has shown no fear in his first post. What a job by Ryan Merritt.
I'm sitting there thinking, man, I gave up a jam job hit and got taken out.
Exactly.
In the air to left, Carrera. 2 up and 2 down here in the 8th.
Well, Cal, think of it this way. The starters for Cleveland have not been used traditionally because of Salazar out with a flexor strain. Carrasco got hit on his pitching hand. Bauer and Drone Gate. But in the postseason, their starters are 4-1 and a 1.86 ERA, and in this LCS, they're 2-1 with a 1.23. So when they've been in there, they've been extremely effective.
We know Francona was going to take the pressure off the kid when he had a chance to, and that was his first chance.
That is Carlos Carrasco on the bench. Nothing worse than that, right? Not being able to participate and help your team.
It was a line drive off the bat of Ian Kinsler in September. in the heat of that pennant race that knocked him out. Kipnis grounds back to the mound. 1-2-3-8 for Joe Biagini. The Toronto Bats will try it again in the 8th. 3-0. E-League is back starting this Friday, October 21st. Catch the best in esports with E-League Season 2 on TBS every Friday. Getting late if you're a Blue Jay. Bottom of the 8th. 3-0 game. Down 3-1 in the series. Deanna Navarro, who got a hit off of Andrew Miller the other night, pinch hitting to lead off the 8th. And he lines a single to left.
Breaking ball. Don't know if he was sitting on it or not, but he certainly squared it up. Bullet to left. Got a hit off a breaking ball backdoor one the other day down the right field line.
Watch Carrera. A big part of his game is bunting the baseball.
Breaking pitch over for a strike. 0-1.
Difficult position. Navarro, not a lot of speed at first.
And quickly, the left-hander jumps out ahead.
Buckled on both those breaking balls. Started at him. Kind of pulled back a little bit. Broke back over the plate.
And that didn't take long at all. 1 down.
So opposition now 1 for 24 with men on against Miller.
It's a tough at bat anyway, as we've seen, but particularly tough on the left-hander.
Toronto has gotten 1 runner in scoring position in this game. That came in the 5th. But then Brian Shaw struck out Carrera and Pilar. Here's Pilar, who grounds into the hole. Lindor gets the force at second.
Well, that was an awfully good play by Lindor. Cal, I was wondering if they would run for Navarro with Pompey.
Yeah, I'm still amazed by the ground that he covers. Good, powerful, quick steps, backhands, and comes up knowing he's got a little time to force out at second base.
Darwin Barney fouls it away. 0-1.
Before Barney came up, Miller has gotten 7 outs on 19 pitches.
When he came on in the 6th, he induced a 1-pitch double play ball. There's a blooper into shallow left. Easy play for Rajay Davis. 8 innings in the books. The Indians 3 defensive outs away. We move to the top of the 9th. Cleveland leads the series 3-1. They lead Game 5 3-0. And Roberto Osuna on for Toronto.
See his numbers in the postseason.
First pitch drilled by Lindor to the gap in right center field, and that is over the wall for a ground rule double. Hello.
Yeah, I was wondering whether Miller's going to finish this or not, but it looks like Allen is up in the pen. It's a first pitch fastball up out over the plate.
Squared it up, didn't he, Cal? Jeez.
That was a laser.
2 game-winning RBIs, 3 hits today. He's been all over the field defensively. And 22 years old. Cal, you wouldn't, but I'd throw away my baseball card to start it over as him.
Here's Napoli. In the air to center. Pilar makes the catch. One down.
Lindor read that really well, got back and with an attempt to tag up, made the right decision. Not much of a chance to run on that arm.
2 pitches, 2 swings by the Cleveland Indians. Lindor with a ground rule double. Napoli with a line out to center.
Left-handed hitter, it's much tougher, but the Indians have stolen third 29 times this year. That's why Tulo's right behind Lindor.
Here's Ramirez. Takes inside, 1-0.
Trying to see if there's any signals, sort of verbal or otherwise, from the coaches to Lindor.
Cleveland Indians have not scored a run in the postseason from the 7th inning on. They're on the verge of winning 2 series.
To second. Barney will throw him out as Lindor moves over to third. Cleveland trying to tack one on here in the 9th. They already lead it 3-0.
Well, more of the same for these Indians.
Here's Chisenhall. That sailed high, 1-0.
Lindor's got a really big lead over here. Taking a secondary, anticipating maybe a ball in the dirt. He's susceptible to a pickoff to me.
Beat him at 94, 1-1.
You know, Chisenhall has really been the unsung offensive and defensive player for this Cleveland Indians team. We talk about the bullpen. We've talked about Lindor. We have not spent a lot of time talking about Lonnie Chisenhall in the post. He has been so important for this Cleveland team.
The bullet 3-run homer he hit in Cleveland off David Price en route to the 3-game sweep of the Boston Red Sox. Came in hitting .318 in this postseason. Cody Allen loosening in the Cleveland bullpen as Chisenhall swings and misses. 2-2. Hesitation there by Osuna in that delivery.
First time I ever heard hesitation, I was reading the autobiography of Satchel Paige, happened to play on the 1948 World Series team for the Cleveland Indians.
It's designed to mess up the timing of the hitter. But you got to make sure you have your timing right to deliver a good pitch too.
That missed. Count full, 3-2. Chisenhall goes down swinging. Toronto. They've had some late inning magic in the wild card game and in the clincher against Texas. Do they have any tonight? Bottom half of the ninth. Stay tuned after the game for the postseason show on TBS presented by the Lincoln Motor Company. Casey Stern, Pedro Martinez, Gary Sheffield, Jimmy Rollins. Just keep the camera on those guys because some idiot has run on the field here. And he's been tackled behind the bag at second, so we don't need to show that.
It's a good tackle, though.
We don't need to show you his foolish act, but maybe if you can just post his mugshot tomorrow and say, this is what happens when you do something stupid.
I always think we should have a graphic. How much it costs to get out of jail, use the lawyer, how much you have to spend on a fine, then maybe we would stop some of this silliness.
Meantime, back at the game, Cody Allen will pitch the ninth in relief of Andrew Miller, who was brilliant over 2 2/3.
He really was. Only 21 pitches to get those outs. Cody Allen, the only time in this postseason that he looked nervous to me was in the clinching game against Boston, when he went an inning and a third, gave up a couple of runs, allowed inherited runner to score, and walked a couple. That was the only time.
He missed at 94, 1-0. Top of the order here for Toronto. Bautista's 1 for 3, and he fouls it back, 1-1.
The Toronto Blue Jays in the postseason have never been shut out at home.
Two and one. Bautista singled in the 6th. And that's when Andrew Miller came on and induced a 6-4-3 double play out of Josh Donaldson, who's on deck. 2 and 2.
A lot of the discussion of this team all season long is their heralded free agents, Edwin Encarnacion and Jose Bautista. This could be his last at bat in a Toronto uniform.
Fastball away again.
3 and 2.
Bautista stands close to the plate, trying to make that outside corner be down the middle.
If you could will it so, they're trying.
Line drive, left field, base hit. That's going to bang off the wall and be extra bases for Bautista to lead off the bottom of the ninth.
What a nice at bat, under control. Very quick swing right here. 3-2 fastball, got a bigger part of the plate. He drills it down the left field line.
You would not have been here if you were Cleveland without Cody Allen, but boy, it had to be hard to take Andrew Miller out.
Here's Donaldson. And Perez wants time as Allen was into his motion.
Batista's dancing off second base. That could be distracting to the hitter or could be distracting to the pitcher.
In the wild card game, we saw it happen in the 11th inning. Edwin Encarnacion, a 3-run walk-off homer. In the clincher against Texas, it was this guy, Donaldson, with the Donaldson dash with the game winner in the 10th. Here we are in the ALCS. Game 5. Bottom of the 9th. 0-2.
3-run saves this year. Cody Allen is perfect. He has not blown a save on the road all season long.
Pressure gets a little bigger if they're able to get one more person's on base and bring the tying run to the plate.
Ryan Merritt, who started this game. Cody Allen trying to finish it for the Indians. And he struck him out.
Three really good fastballs right there. You're going to wait a little longer. You can get the fastball at the top part of the strike zone by Josh. That's 95 miles an hour.
Talk about pitch efficiency. Merritt, Shaw, and Miller only took 87 pitches to get through 8 innings. It's going to be a little tougher for Allen in the 9th.
Here's Encarnacion. Waved at it 0-1. In the air, over the dugout, out of play.
Three good fastballs.
0-2, yeah.
Yeah, 3 good fastballs to Donaldson, 2 really good hooks to Edwin.
Edwin, like Bautista, same predicament. 7 for 16 with men on, 4 for 5 with runners and scoring position. Donaldson didn't want to go home. He's going to need some help.
No balls, 2 strikes. Bautista, the runner, at second. And the Indians are an out away. Well, he gave up that leadoff double to Bautista. But having to navigate this super tough part of Toronto's lineup, he strikes out Donaldson and Encarnacion. And they are primed and ready at the Clevelander. Here's Tulowitzki.
both offenses have struggled in this series. But Toronto's 1 for 34 with 2 outs and men on. And the number 4 and 5 slots in their lineup are only 2 for 33, sorry.
Fastball, hard curveball. His 2 pitches.
From up here, Cal, he only needs 2.
That missed. 2-1. Bautista, your runner. Allen with a 2-1. Count even. And the Indians are a strike away.
Just challenged him. 2-1. Fastball up.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. In the air. Foul territory. The Cleveland Indians are going to the World Series. They haven't won the series since 1948. They haven't been in it since 1997. On Tuesday night, they will host the opener for the first time in franchise history.
The Blue Jays team, what a year they had. Just ran into a buzzsaw of the bullpen of the Cleveland Indians. No hanging your heads. This team wouldn't be denied. They got a chance to end that drought.
It was amazing to watch. All they needed was a lead at any time to turn over their bullpen. And that model seemed to work over and over and over again. Andrew Miller. God, what a performance.
Carlos Santana cradles the final out. And there's Ryan Merritt. Wow, what a day in Lindor.
That's the first smile I've seen on Napoli's face in the entire series. And what a job managing by a future Hall of Fame manager.
This was, when you look at the way this series played out, you talk about contributions up and down that roster. Everybody had questions about Ryan Merritt. How would he handle the pressure of a postseason game. Never been there before. Let's go down to Sam Ryan.
Yeah, Ernie, Francisco Lindor just came over, pounded you in the chest, and said you shocked the world. Now, Terry Francona was telling us that he had a good idea that you would keep your emotions in check. So what were the emotions knowing what was at stake tonight when you took the mound?
I mean, I was nervous, for sure, you know. This team has come so far, and, I mean, I want to come in and do my best to win, you know. Take our team to the next level. I know they're counting on me. Before the game, they came and told me they had my backs. Everybody had my backs, good or bad, so that takes some pressure off, and I just went out there and pitched, trusted my team. Three quick innings right away in the fourth. Josh Donaldson on first. I know you didn't play with his defense for a long time, but Edwin Encarnacion grounds into the 6-4-3 double play. What can you say about that play with them behind you? Right. I mean, first 3 innings were confidence booster, you know, and then I had 1 out. Donaldson got a hit, and didn't put too much pressure on myself. Just I know that if I get a ground ball to my infield, they're gonna turn 2. They're gonna make a play for me no matter what. So I just tried to stay within myself and get a ground ball.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
I don't know if anybody's told him yet that this is a postseason game.
I'll tell you this. There's some folks in McKinney, Texas, awfully proud. Cal, to what you were saying, Cleveland starters in this ALCS pitched 22 innings. Cleveland bullpen in this series pitched 22 innings.
I remember the St. Louis Cardinals had that formula that worked pretty good. I think they had more innings pitched out of their bullpen, but matching up and having a lead gave Francona the chance to play the right pieces at the right time, and boy did he.
Well, you Cleveland fans that are young, 1948's the last time. You guys can Google it. Bob Feller, Bob Lemon, Gene Bearden, Ken Keltner, the MVP Lou Boudreau, on and on.
Yep.
Final score, Cleveland 3, Toronto nothing. Congratulations to the Cleveland Indians, 2016 American League champions. After the break, we'll be back with the American League Championship Trophy presentation. Ron, Cal, a pleasure as always.
Is brought to you by Navy Federal, proudly serving the armed forces and their families for over 80 years, federally insured by NCUA. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By T-Mobile One, welcome to Unlimited Baseball. And by the Lincoln Motor Company and the powerful yet quiet 2016 Lincoln MKX.
All right.
I didn't know Kip came. Kip's here? Wait. Come on, Jason. Give me a second. Oh, wow. Yeah. Where do you go? Let me get it over. Hold on. God damn it. Hold on. Passport, Saggy. One of them is 30 or 20 years. It's premature. Hold on. That's you. Hold on. Oh my God. I'm so thirsty. We don't know what to do.
Let me hear it. Let me hear the toss. All right, thank you very much, Casey. So, yeah, we got a lot of smiling faces down here, and this is going to be a huge moment for everybody in the Cleveland Indians organization.
On behalf of the commissioner, Rob Manfred, I would like to congratulate the Cleveland Indians organization, and I'd like to present the Larry William Heritage Trophy to Larry and Paul Dolan.
Thank you very much, Frank. It's a great honor, particularly for Cleveland. All you meant to the Cleveland franchise, what you mean for baseball. We're thrilled to be able to accept this from you.
Paul, I know you guys both have such deep Northeast Ohio roots. You do this on the road. You know back in Cleveland they are going absolutely crazy and can't wait for Tuesday when the World Series starts. But what's your message to the folks in Cleveland tonight?
It's been an extraordinary year for Cleveland in many, many respects, and this is just another step in it. We've got a little more work to do, but I know the people of Cleveland are really excited and ready to take that next step with us.
The pride of ownership in a moment like this, how do you describe it?
It's hard to describe it. Maybe in a year I'll be able to describe it. Right now it's just an incredible thrill.
We still have an American League MVP or ALCS MVP to get to, but right now I'd like to, if we could continue for just a second. Chris Antonetti, Mike Chernoff, who are down here, and you guys have helped construct this team. It's been a joint venture, but when you look at the contributions of a guy you knew you had to go out and get, like Miller, and then you look at Merritt, who makes his first postseason start tonight. Could you just describe how it feels to be standing here on this night?
Incredibly proud, incredible amount of pride. We have a collective group and a guy that I think we embody what a team is all about. Every single player made a contribution, and without all of their individual efforts, we wouldn't be standing up here.
I think what we saw is a team that really fought through adversity, and it was every single guy, 1 through 9 in the lineup, all the bench guys, our entire bullpen. So a huge organizational accomplishment in that way, and fun to see the resiliency of this team.
And part of this whole story too is the fact that you went out at one point and said, who do we need to manage this group that we want to assemble? How did you settle on Terry Francona, and how does that move feel tonight?
That wasn't a very hard choice. So Tito has meant so much to the franchise, and I think we've seen just the way he's managed these last 4 games. But beyond that, he's a phenomenal leader. He builds relationships with players. He makes connections. He puts them in a position to be successful, and we're extraordinarily lucky to work alongside him.
When you look at this and say, why did this click, and what exactly came into place? What has put you on the stage tonight? What's your answer?
I mean, it was a full team effort. I think what you saw is a group of guys that came together early in spring training, and you could really feel the team aspect of it. That just grew throughout the season, whether it was adding Brandon Geyer, adding Andrew Miller, and things just clicked for us. I think it was fun to see that real culture that Tito built with every guy coming together like that.
When you think about what's going on in Cleveland here in the last several months, you saw the Cleveland Cavaliers win a championship, and now you have the Cleveland Indians with a chance for the first time since 48, I'll go ahead and say it, to do this again. What does that mean to you at a time like this?
It means a great deal to us. We had a firsthand opportunity to see the Cavs do what they did and celebrate, and we have a lot of work left to do, but hopefully we can find a way to win 4 more and bring the city a championship.
Let's get Tito down here. Terry, it looks like did you take a moment to go get a champagne shower momentarily?
You know what? I mean, I actually wanted these guys to talk because I thought they deserved it. And being in there with the players is so meaningful. I mean, just to see those guys in there celebrating, but I thought the people up here deserved to be the ones talking.
There are a lot of things we could talk about in terms of what this team has done this year, from a 14-game winning streak that's a franchise record to what Andrew Miller has done. But I have to, and we'll talk to Andrew in just a second, but Ryan Merritt went out there today in his first postseason start, 1 start in his career. What he gave you, I mean, how do you put that into words?
I mean, the only guy that really got in his way was probably me. I mean, he gave up 1 hit, but I thought where he got, we could turn it over to our bullpen, the guys that have been doing it all year. But for him to do what he did under those circumstances, he may not look the part, but he is beyond his years, and it's one of the most phenomenal things I've ever seen.
Frank Robinson is right here, and I appreciate your patience, Frank. because we do have an MVP of the ALCS to present, and I think he's 6'7". I don't know if it's a guy you'd even want to face.
No, I told him that coming up. I said, I didn't want to face you with that stuff. But this is one of the very few players I enjoy looking up to. But fabulous job, hell of a job. Right, fabulous job. And I guess I'm supposed to present you with the ACL Championship Series MVP. Andre, congratulations.
Andrew Miller, MVP of the ALCS. Pleasure, Mr. Robinson, to be on the stage here with you. Thank you very much. All right, big fella. I mean, what you've done, I think you've kind of left guys like Ron Darling and Cal Ripken and others who have tried to describe this series speechless with how dominant you've been. How do you explain it?
It's a great team. I think, my defense, our catcher, Roberto Perez, is unbelievable. And it's just, it's so special to be a part of. I think top to bottom, everybody did something to help us win. And it's just, it's a special experience, and I think it only gets better.
What do you look at, aside from how good this bullpen has been, but what do you look at? What is it about this team that has you in the World Series?
I don't know. I think it's the right word. We just have it, and nobody's scared. We started a guy that had one career start today, and we had confidence in him, and I think that's special. And it's just top to bottom. Like I said, there's 25 guys. The staff, top down, ownership, the way they treat us is unbelievable, and there's a good reason why we're here.
Well, when you consider what's at stake here and what you're able to do now, you kind of forget this is going to be a new experience for you too. You haven't been to the World Series. I mean, it's pretty exciting just on a personal level, I would think.
Yeah, I've seen two of them from the dugout, and I've wanted nothing more to be a part of one. And it's going to be an incredible experience. I can't wait. We get a chance to celebrate for a brief moment, but we'll be focused and we'll be ready to go.
Andrew Miller, congratulations, job well done, and good luck in the World Series.
Thank you so much.
Andrew Miller, the MVP, and the Cleveland Indians, the champions of the American League here in 2016. Let's go back to Casey Stern. Casey.